What if working harder isn't actually the fastest way to become a millionaire? It's a question that challenges a really deeply ingrained societal belief. Millions of people work grueling 14-hour days, yet statistics show that sheer labor rarely correlates with extreme wealth. We're taught to just grind away, but the difference between the exhausted laborer and the self-made millionaire isn't the sheer volume of effort, it's how that effort is strategically directed.
Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever felt like there's an invisible ceiling on what you can earn, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to systematically unpack the mechanics of smart work versus hard work. We'll be looking at the blueprint for scalable wealth, fundamentally reshaping how you view your time, your skills, and your income. Okay, let's dive right into the blueprint. We'll start by breaking down the hard work myth, then move into solving bigger problems, building scalable systems, mastering financial intelligence, and finally, avoiding the commonwealth traps that derail so many ambitious people.
So part 1, the hard work myth. Let's deconstruct this whole time for money trap.
Look, if you're trading your time directly for money, you're locked into traditional hard work. And the fundamental issue here is that time is strictly limited. There are only 24 hours in a day, right? So trading time directly for income creates a hard mathematical ceiling on your wealth. You literally cannot work enough hours to scale to $1 million if your earning mechanism requires you to be physically present. Well, unless you figure out how to stop sleeping entirely. Smart work, on the other hand, is about building scalable systems. A system keeps producing value and generating income even when you aren't actively working. It's the difference between a clock you have to manually wind every single hour and a self-winding machine that just runs whether you're awake or asleep.
Moving on to part 2, solving bigger problems. This is all about shifting our focus from hours worked to actual value created.
Now, what's really interesting is that this concept completely flips our conventional understanding of income on its head. Your income doesn't naturally grow just because you log more hours. It grows when the magnitude of the problems you're capable of solving increases. We're talking about high-value skills here: sales, marketing, software development, artificial intelligence, communication, leadership, problem-solving, and financial literacy. The modern marketplace disproportionately rewards professionals who leverage these specific abilities. Why? Because integrating AI to streamline a business solves $1 million problem, whereas manual data entry really only solves a minimum wage problem.
The marketplace rewards people who solve bigger problems. Seriously, I want you to internalize this powerful takeaway. Leveling up your high-value skills is the absolute mandatory first step. You simply cannot build a scalable system if you don't first possess the tools and knowledge required to construct something of high value to others.
All right, part 3, building scalable systems. Let's talk about detaching your personal time from your income using leverage. So how do we actually take those high-value skills and scale them up? Online courses, software products, e-commerce stores, subscription services, content libraries, and licensing deals, these are your engines of wealth. Smart workers build these systems specifically because they create lasting value long after the initial labor is done. Think about it. If you write a piece of software, you do the heavy lifting once, but you can sell it to 10,000 people while you sleep. Your direct, hour-by-hour involvement is no longer the bottleneck.
And the truly beautiful thing about the era we live in right now, technology acts as a massive multiplier for these systems. By leveraging artificial intelligence, automation tools, and just the sheer global reach of the internet, a single entrepreneur with a laptop can manage a worldwide customer base. Technology literally allows one person to efficiently do the work that once required an entire corporate team. It's a total game changer.
Next up, part 4, mastering financial intelligence. We need to build and diversify the wealth loop.
Because here's the thing, making money through scalable systems is really only half the battle. Keeping it and growing it, that's the other half. It's actually a well-researched fact that the average self-made millionaire has at least 7 distinct streams of income. You should never, ever depend on a single source. Whether it's a mix of a salary, freelancing, an online business, dividends, or rental income, diversification is your shield. If your salary disappears tomorrow, but you've got these other slices of the pie working for you, you remain financially secure.
To build those streams, you have to follow a fundamental financial loop. It looks remarkably straightforward on paper, but trust me, it requires immense discipline. Step 1, spend less than you earn. Step 2, save consistently to build an emergency cushion. Step 3, invest regularly to take advantage of compound growth. And Step 4, absolutely avoid unnecessary debt. This loop ensures that the money generated by your systems actually stays and grows, rather than just passing aimlessly through your bank accounts to pay off liabilities.
Doing this requires a huge mindset shift. You have to move from being a mere consumer to thinking like an investor. An investor strategically acquires productive assets, We're talking businesses, index funds, real estate, and intellectual property. Consumers buy things that lose value over time, right? But investors buy things that grow in value or generate recurring income, keeping their expenses strictly controlled while their assets do the heavy lifting.
Now let's be clear, this isn't an overnight process. Let's look at how this builds over time. In year 1, you're doing the grueling work of initial system building. It feels like hard work. But by year 3, your first scalable streams start to emerge. By year 5, compound growth really accelerates. And by year 10, your acquired assets and systems are producing recurring passive income. So this proves that smart work still requires heavy initial effort, for sure. But unlike trading time for money, it ultimately leads to exponential compounded growth.
Which brings us to part 5, avoiding the wealth traps. Let's navigate the common pitfalls on the road to scale.
It happens all the time. Ambitious professionals accidentally derail years of strategic progress by falling into some pretty dangerous behavioral traps. Expecting overnight success? That's just going to lead to burnout. Following every flash-in-the-pan trend destroys your focus. Spending money to impress people you don't even like actively drains the capital you need to buy real assets. Ignoring financial planning, refusing to adapt, or simply quitting too early. Falling for these mistakes can easily destroy even the absolute best-designed scalable systems.
Your absolute best defense against these traps is continuous learning. It's the practice of constantly acquiring new knowledge through books, courses, networking, and mentorship. Highly successful people never stop learning because they understand a really profound truth. Knowledge compounds exactly like financial investments do. Constantly upgrading your mental software is what prevents you from becoming obsolete in a fast-paced, ever-changing market.
So the crucial point to remember is this. Smart work doesn't replace hard work, it makes every hour count. The blueprint we've explored in this explainer is absolutely not some lazy get-rich-quick scheme. It is an incredibly rigorous process. But it's about making absolutely sure that your hard work is directed intelligently towards scalable systems and productive assets that will last, rather than just spinning your wheels on an endless treadmill.
Which leaves us with this final, vital question. If you stopped working today, how long would your systems keep paying you? Seriously, take a moment to evaluate your current reliance on the time for money trap. If your answer is not long at all, well, then it might be time to shift your focus. Stop just working harder and start building your own scalable blueprint today.